Back with comedian Dave Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So welcome to another fucking day of Le Boyle's life. Today I got up early and I went for a fucking walk. It's been quite some time now since I've done any form of exercise except wrestling with my kids. And I just needed to start doing something. So I got up I set the alarm at 6:15 and I eventually got up at 6:35. And by the time I put my fucking pants and shit on and woke fully up to walk out the door, it was about 6:45. And I went for a stroll. It was fucking freezing. But after about 5 minutes, I started to feel good, and it just felt good being up early, moving my body. I was going to start jogging, but then I held myself up. I'm like, don't push it too early. You're not a young man anymore. Don't try and run before you can walk. You know what I mean? So I think even tomorrow is another day I get out there and do a walk. And then I think I build it up to a very, very mild jog. And then over the next few months, I build it up to a slightly strenuous jog. But I needed to do something. I needed to start something. And then I started reading. I got some good fucking reading in. I started reading those history books. Well, Arnold Toynbee's fucking A Study of History that I've paid $900 for, and I'm going to basically devour these and understand what the fuck is going on. This is going to be like a serious study for me. I'm taking it seriously. I'm getting notebooks. I'm going to handwrite it, then type it out. Like, I've been thinking about it for months. So I started reading the introduction to that now, and because I woke up so early, I was sitting on my new kitchen table chair and I was basically falling asleep at 7:30. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Anyway, it's Monday, baby. No, it isn't. It's fucking Tuesday. It used to be Monday, but it's Tuesday, and you know what that means now, don't ya? Don't ya? It's Boyle time. So if you have a question you would like answered by one of the greatest minds of this generation, after I read these fucking Arnold Toynbee books, I could actually be the greatest mind of the generation, not just one of them. That's the plan anyway. They are a slog to get through. But anyway, philosopher, crane operator, comedian, Le Boyle, then head to my website. We got a few good questions this week. I got a really good question this week, so I might even sneak it in midweek if I'm having a real slow day. They're all pretty slow at the moment, so I might get it in. Anyway, if you've got a question, head to my website, boylecomedy.com. If you've got a story, which is more important, head to my website, boylecomedy.com. Section there for Ask Boyle, section there for Fucked Up Fridays. You know what to do. Anyway, let's get to this week's Ask Boyle. So this week's Ask Boyle was sent in by my man fucking out there. Maybe I'll just keep it fucking anonymous because he has a name that is easy to identify. So I'll just keep it anonymous. Here it is. So I wanted to ask an alcohol-related question. I'm sorry, mate, but you've come to the wrong fucking podcast for that. Rig, I can answer. Bitcoin, answer. Investment, hair, anything but alcohol. All right, I'll give it a shot. How to deal with friends who do not seem to realize that their alcohol and drug use are becoming problematic. Not to make them stop using, but how to handle being their friend and staying in touch We're all around late 20s and developing our life, and all have been drinking since a young age, but the issues seem to get worse with age, like more drinking and using drugs every other weekend and causing the usual problems addicts have. And I said, do you have a specific example? And he wrote back, like, a friend of mine is always drunk when I see him. We meet in bars, but his drinking is problematic, chugging beers, shots, and snorting coke and other stuff on a crazy tempo. He also does this when he is with other people. He lives with his parents again and works in hospitality. His bike gets stolen all the time, and he also got robbed the other night. A typical alcoholic like you tell in your stories. If I look into the future, I see this continuing for some years. I don't want to address him because I know if he wants to do anything about it, he should want it himself. Question: is there anything you wanted to have heard from your surroundings when you were doing all this? Well, my anonymous friend, you have come to the right place. So I'll answer the first question pretty quickly because I've covered that territory before. Basically, there's nothing you can do for your friend. Anything you say to him, it will either won't stick at all, or he'll think you're a fucking idiot, or he doesn't think he's got a problem. They have to come to it themselves. And I know that territory you're heading in, like late 20s. So he's just doing the things that I used to do, that everyone basically does. People are moving on with their lives, and he's stuck in the early 20s party mode. He doesn't realize the party stopped. People are winding it up, and he's still charging hard, which is commendable, but it's not sustainable. So yeah, the same thing happened to me. I eventually was shunned by almost all my friends. Not completely, but they just didn't want to hang out with me anymore. I was too much of a fucking pain in the ass. There was always trouble. I was always going hard. I was always trying to force them to go hard. And I just became too much of a pain in the ass for them. So they kept me at a distance in the end. And then eventually, you look around, you're like, fuck, I have no friends. You have people to drink with. You'll always have people to drink with, but you have no friends. So that's the answer to that. They're going to have to come around to it themselves. The second question I feel like is a little bit more interesting. Is there anything you wanted to have heard from your surroundings when you were doing all this? Now, I've thought about that because it wasn't like people didn't point it out to me. It wasn't like people weren't like, you're fucked. It wasn't like people were trying to egg me on drinking. Like once in a while a friend would come to town and they'd egg me on, but your day-to-day people around weren't like, yeah, let's get on it. Apart from obviously the drinkers. You'll always find drinkers, don't worry. So I thought about what may have changed my course, and the only thing that I can sort of imagine may have changed my opinion or my course is a sober, successful male role model that I sort of looked up to, that had gone through it themselves but come out the other end and had just been wildly successful. And if they had taken me under their wing in some sort of way, like mentored me or something, possibly that could have worked. That way I would have been able to see through the clouds. But you surround yourself with retards. The good ones disappear, you lose contact with them, and then you're just surrounded by retards, and you're like, yeah, this is how life is. You've got no one to set your compass to. You've got no North Star. You know what I mean? So you look around, you're like, yeah, everyone's a fucking dropkick. And if any of them gave me some advice, you're just like, how about fuck you, you idiot? The only reason you can't do it is because you're a fucking pussy. That's why. So you don't listen to any of their advice. You don't want to hear anything they have to say. And there's no one really out there to give you the guidance. So you just sort of continue. But I don't even know if that would have worked because I was pretty confident I knew exactly what I was doing. I had no idea. In retrospect, I was just an immature fucking retard idiot. I had a good goddamn time though. I had fun and I knew how to have fun, but like emotional maturity, I was like on 0. I was just like fucking catch me if you can. So I can imagine still burning that bridge as well. Or like going down that path for a little while, but getting dragged back in. I think the only person who could have saved me was me. And I'm barely saved. I'm fucking still hanging on by the skin of my teeth, just to sanity in general. But it's certainly better than it was. But in the end, it all comes from inside. It all comes from you. It's amazing to have some people to lean on. It's amazing to have someone you can relate to that's gone through the same experience. But in the end, you have to fucking walk it yourself. So no one's coming to save you. And even if they did, you'd be like that guy fucking from the episode I did. I think it was like in my first 20 episodes, the guy sticking his middle finger at the ambulance. The medics as he's getting fucking helicopter flown to hospital after a car crash. Fuck you cunts. Anyway, thanks for the question, my friend. Hope it helps. That'll do for tonight, and I'll see you the fucking later.